Omen by HP 17-inch gaming laptop 17 and 110 NR. Review deal discount unboxing setup. I'm hard on laptops, I travel a lot, I do a lot of work on them and tend to drop them a lot. None of which bodes well for them lasting for me, which is why I've always bought a warranty with every laptop I've ever owned. Usually every 3 or 4 years, I'm buying a new one, right on the nose. And I've almost always bought them at Best Buy because I've always managed to find a good deal. This time though, when my Toshiba died a rather ignominious and somewhat sudden death, I was left with the decision of what in the world to buy. I knew I wanted a solid-state drive, at least a small one, and I knew I needed something that could handle my moderate gaming marathons with my wife and the kid. And with all the photo editing I do for work and myself, it had to have a killer screen. And this laptop was perfect? Especially since it gave me back the one feature I was pissed at losing in the last 2 laptops I've owned, a matte screen. I fell in love with this thing the moment I saw it online and read the specs and reviews. And ever since I pulled it out of the box, I am ecstatic I finally broke down and spent some decent money on a laptop. Don't get me wrong, this thing is big and heavy and it's going to be a challenge to travel with when my field season starts up. But the speed, the power and the screen on this thing make up for any inconvenience I may experience. One thing to note for future purchasers, you have to pay attention to what you install onto the SSD. It comes with the operating system installed on it and almost no room for much else. In our research, my wife and I discovered that because of the nature of solid-state drives, it's best for their stability to leave some of the memory open, similar to not using all the space on the memory card in your camera. So putting anything else onto the SSD of this computer is probably not a good idea. However, the SSD is set to the default or C drive. So you'll have to make some adjustments and change your saving settings to avoid accidentally putting anything else on it. Also, another wonderful thing we discovered is that if you use Photoshop, you can't put it on this computer. All Adobe programs default to the C drive and you can't change that. They don't even give you the option. Adobe is well aware of this but has yet to fix it. There are plenty of other photo editing options out there to choose from that are just as good, so don't let that be a deal breaker unless you just can't do without Photoshop. But I had to cancel my subscription to CC and I figured that letting other people know of this annoying issue with Adobe might be useful. Pros. It is a little beast, set up to do whatever job you have for it. Keyboard has large highly visible lettering. Runs very quiet and at least so far remains cool. We shall see what happens when tested under pressure. Capable of easy upgrade. Cons. The SSD is ridiculously small and will need to be replaced soon. Whoever thought up a touchpad should be shot. Special discounts on product. Get the discount link in the description box.